A very good morning to all. Today we will be doing a new chapter, that is Government Services, chapter number 12. We will continue from page number 101. So you all know that the government works for the betterment of the citizens. And here in page number 101, you can see many pictures. So the first picture is of a metro, and I am sure that you all might have enjoyed riding the metro. Next one is the picture of highways. So they are big and wide roads. In India, we have national highways and state highways. So the national highways are the highways or the roads that connect one state to another, and state highways are those which connect one city to another city. Next one, you can see traffic police. So people like traffic police, they protect us from danger and they also helps in maintaining law and order. Then in India, we have many organizations like government schools, government hospitals, health centers, telephone exchange, fire service, etc. So these organizations, they provide different types of services and they comes under the government. Now there are many other services that comes under private sector and they are known as the private services. For example, here the security guards working in apartments or food delivery operations by Swiggy. So these services are provided by the private sectors and it doesn't come under the government services. So here in page number 101, there is a reasoning and analytical skill question. The question is, which of the following may be a government service? The services are ambulance run by public hospitals, or security guard working in apartments, or food delivery operations by Swiggy. So you have to choose which is the government service. So you have to write this answer in your notebook and you have to submit in Teams. Next, in page number 102, you can see a flow chart. The heading is government services. So the subheadings are maintaining law and order, healthcare, education and banking services. So these are the services that are provided by the government, which we will be discussing in this chapter. Now, before that, let's see what is a government. We have already discussed in the previous class that the government is a group of people or a team of people who governs or rules the country, and these people, they make law, and while making law, they make sure that the needs of the people are given to them. So we can also say that government is an organization that works for the welfare and the betterment of the people. There are many organizations in our country like police, bank, post office, hospitals, schools and many more. So these organizations are run by the government. So we can say that the government has separate departments which look after these organizations. For example, health department. So it's a department which looks after the services provided by the government hospitals, health centers, dispensaries and so on. Another example is railway department, and it looks after the services provided by the railways. So all these organizations, they come under the government. That is, the government controls the proper functioning of these departments. Next, we will discuss about the government services. So how will you define government services? The services that are provided by the government for the welfare and betterment of the citizen is known as the government services. And these services includes the supply of clean drinking water, electricity, healthcare, education, protection against crime, maintaining law and order, fire services, postal services and many more. So these are the services that are looked by the government, and it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that these services are provided to the people, that is the citizens of the country. Next, we'll discuss about the different types of government services. So, here in the flow chart, we have seen the different types of government services. The first one, maintaining law and order. Second one, healthcare. Third, education. And the fourth one, banking. So, first we'll discuss about maintaining law and order. So, under this comes the police department. So, we know that the government works for the people, for the welfare of the people. So, it is the responsibility of the government for the safety and security of the people. That is, every citizens, that is every people of the country should be protected from all types of danger. Another function of police is enforcement of law. So, here the police make sure that the laws which are made by the government are applied or followed by all the citizens of the country. Next one is to maintain law and order. So, it is a responsibility or the duty of police to maintain law and order, and it is the duty of every citizen to follow these laws and order for our nation's peace and development. Next duty of the police is to protect public properties. So, what do you understand by public properties? These are the properties which are provided by the government for public use. So, here public is the citizens of the country. For example, railways. So, it is the duty of police to protect the railway department, its building, the rails and all. And same way, it is our duty to not to destroy these public properties. Next one is, we can also register a case in the police station regarding any case of theft or any other crime. And at the time of war, the defense forces, that is the army, the navy and the air force, they protect our country, especially on the borders. And we all know that Indian armed force have three forces, that is the army, and it is responsible for gaining control over land. Next one is the navy. It is responsible for gaining control over water. And the third one is the air force, which is responsible for gaining control over air. So, these are the three defense forces. They protect our country, especially on the borders. This defense force also protect our country from any possible threat or disaster. So, this was about maintaining law and order service under the government. Next one, we will discuss about healthcare. Under this service comes the government hospitals, health centers, dispensaries, the doctors who are working there, nurses and other staffs. Now, here healthcare is one of the primary need of the people, and our government provides many health services to the people living across the country, that is cities, towns and villages. Now, here the government, they set up dispensaries in remote area. So, dispensary is a place where medicines or minor medical treatments are given to the patients, and remote area is that area which is not so developed. So, the government set up dispensaries in remote areas, and here special health camps are also organized to make people aware about the facilities that are provided by the government related to health. The doctors in the health camps, they tell people about personal hygiene and about practicing healthy habits and steps to prevent many diseases. And in these camps, free medical checkups and required medicines are provided to the people. So, this was about the healthcare services. Next service is education. Under this comes the government schools, colleges and universities. So, it is one of the main and important service provided by the government for all-round development of the citizens. And we have already discussed in the previous class that the Constitution of India has guaranteed the children 6 to 14 years of age the right to free and compulsory education. And to make sure this, the government also set up many government schools and colleges. The government has launched programs such as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and midday meal schemes to educate children and to increase the number of admission of children to the school. So, these schemes are specially launched for the poor children who comes from the poor economic background, those who cannot afford going to school. Next one is the government also runs many colleges and universities to provide higher education. So, this was about the education services that run under government. Next service is banking services. Under this comes the banks like Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India. These banks play an important role in citizens' life. Here, we can deposit our money to keep it safe, and the bank use these money as loans and give to people who need this money. That is, the banks give these money as loans for starting a new business or to invest in ongoing business, for higher studies, for purchasing home or car and so on. That is, we can borrow money from bank. So, if you want to borrow money from bank, you have to keep some valuable belongings as custody in the bank. For example, gold, land, house. So, we have to keep these as custody in the bank to borrow money. Banks also provide other services like internet banking and ATM. A full form of ATM is automated teller machine. So, we can use this ATM to get money from anywhere, and we can also use this ATM to purchase things. So, these were some of the services which comes under government. Other than this, there are many services like postal services. So, we use these services to send and receive mails. Next one is fire services. So, in case of fire in any place, the fire brigade puts out fire and rescue people from dangerous fire. They also carries out relief operations during disaster like flood, earthquake, road accidents and so on. So, along with the police, the defense forces, the firemen also comes to rescue people during disaster. So, this was about the different services that comes under the government. Now, here you can see some of the important emergency numbers. So, during an emergency, for example, if you want an ambulance, you can dial this number, that is 102, and the ambulance will reach to your place. Another example is this fire. If there is fire in any place, then you can dial this emergency number, that is 101, and the fire brigade will reach to your place. So, these are the emergency numbers which you have to keep in mind. Next, there is an activity for you. In page number 102, let us talk about. So, you all might have heard about polio. It is a disease, and the question is, how is it harmful for children? Next question is, what is the name of the drive that the government of India has undertaken to end the spread of polio? So, you have to write this answer in your notebook and then you have to submit in Teams. That's all for today. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.